In this video, we're going to be making these cool pull-out drawers, no hardware needed. Stay tuned. To start off on this project, we're going to work on the side pieces. There are 4 pieces in total, 2 sides, a bottom, and a face. And here on the side pieces, I am using a 3/8 inch router bit to make a slot for the dowels, which are also 3/8 to slide through. And I think I went about 3/8 inches deep on these just to give enough support for the dowels, like I said. And then we are going to go ahead and take these over to the table saw and cut these to height. Now, since I've made this, I should have made these a little bit taller. I think there's about 2.5 inches tall. Should have gone taller, and you'll see later on why. Now it's time to add some pocket holes to the side pieces. These side pieces are about 12 inches long, so I did about 3 pocket holes, and it is important to note that the first pocket hole needs to be about 2 inches in from the front edge, so that way it clears the dowel, which I am drilling now. And you'll see I'd made myself a little jig so that way I could drill the same location on all the side pieces. And as you'll see coming up, I should have drilled this dowel a little bit farther away from the edge because it becomes an issue later on. Now switching over to the bottoms, I made myself another little handy jig and drilled another 3/8 inch hole to receive more dowel, and this dowel will ride in those slots that we had cut previous in the video on the side pieces. Some more wood glue and some more dowels, and I did this to both sides of the bottom pieces so that way they will ride in the slots, and then I went ahead and trimmed them to about 3/8 of an inch. And then the last piece we need to make is the face. And so I went ahead and cut those to size and then ironed on some edge banding. This has a glue on the back of it, and the iron heats up that glue and it sticks and covers up that particle board edge. Now comes the tricky part of getting these shelves installed. So here's that first pocket hole, like I mentioned before. Should have been a little bit farther back because it's going to be easier to get a screw gun in there, and as you'll see later on. So this first side piece was pretty easy to get in. Didn't have any issues with it other than that drill tip sticking. And now we're switching over to the other side, and you have to make sure you put that shelf in as well, because if not, you're not going to be able to get it in later on because there's slots is closed there in the front. So I had a little bit of an issue of this side piece kind of wandering on me as I was screwing those pocket holes in and getting everything to line up there on that edge. See me kind of tapping it over. You can see there's another support piece there on the bottom to help me support it. And then I decided to screw in the other side, and that way it would help push it back the other way. And this seemed to work. I was able to get everything lined up, but if you have another pair of hands helping you, that will definitely help. And then I ran into my first issue. Oh no. This needs to go up and over this. So this whole thing needs to come forward. Ew, crop. So I realized that the shelf needs to sit on top of those pegs. So I had to take the two right pieces off, get the shelf over the pegs or on top of the pegs, and then reattach those two right pieces again, getting everything aligned. It was kind of a pain, but all a learning process. After getting everything reattached, I was able to test it out and see how it slides, and it slid pretty good. I was surprised. Maybe only one thing would maybe to sand the dowels a little bit so that way they were a little bit skinnier and slid in that slot a little bit better, but other than that, it slid great. And so now we're going to work on attaching the face. I went ahead and drilled some pocket holes, and this will get screwed into the face. You could have done that earlier, but and then I was trying to figure out how I was going to attach, or at least hold the face on while I was able to get some screws in there. And so this is some double-sided tape, and I was able to position that face on there. It was a little bit tricky, but I was able to get it. And then I decided, because I put my first screw in, as you'll see coming up, I decided to put some clamps on there just to hold it a little bit tighter while I got those screws in. So here's issue number 2, the particle board. It wasn't the best choice of material for this project. It needs something stronger. I had it left over from making my shop cabinets, and I thought I would use it, but it came to bite me in the butt. Luckily, I had a little piece of Baltic birch plywood, and I was able to swap it out, and this was a lot better. But as you'll see coming up, that wasn't my only issue with the particle board. Now for the tool storage, I went with the Kaizen foam from Fast Cap and cut a piece to fit into that shelf. If you're not familiar with this, this is a layered foam, and so you're able to kind of cut those layers away and have your tools fit nicely into it. So you just see me here getting all my tools organized and how I think I want them, hopefully. And then what you do is you take a Sharpie and you trace all of your tools and where they go. And then you take one of these long razor blades and cut out the tools. And so what I did was kind of set my depth for the shafts of the screwdrivers to 1 depth. And then I switched it to a deeper depth to cut out the handles. And so that way the screwdrivers kind of sat in their level and it looked really nice. And then you go ahead and peel away the layers of the foam. And a little bit of a tip if you do this, I don't know, for some reason the markers that I used, the ink was rubbing off, and so my hands were covered with ink. So maybe put a glove on or something like that. But yeah, this worked out great, and then you see me there putting on all of the tools. And then here is the finished product, putting that foam in place, and I'll probably end up gluing this on so that way it doesn't move around when you're trying to grab the tools out of there. But it worked out great, looked great. And then here is another issue that I had later on after using it for a couple days. So these drawers have been built for a couple days and I've been using them, and I ran into an issue. Mainly the material. This is a particle board, a chip board. It's not the best material for it. So let me show you the issue and how I'm gonna fix it. All right, so going underneath the drawer, you can see my peg has broken and the other pegs are showing signs of breaking as well. So I guess the first issue is I didn't leave enough material underneath that peg to help to support it. But I don't know if that would have helped. I think over time they would have broken off anyways. So the second thing is that the material isn't the best choice. This is particle board, chip board, as people call it. I had it left over, so I thought I would use it when I made these cabinets here, but it wasn't the best material. So I'm going to be switching these out to a plywood or a hardwood, probably a plywood, because I used plywood here and that helped because I had the same issue with the pegs in the back corner on the shelf breaking as well. And then I'm also thinking that I might put like maybe a threaded rod across these and then thread it through here and then over to the other one, or keep that dowel and run the dowel all the way across. We'll see, I don't know yet. So maybe do a follow-up video to these to fixing this, but that is the issue and how to fix it. That is going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I think this is a pretty cool use of storage underneath your upper cabinets. Great for hand tools, easy access to grab it and put it back. No hardware needed, which is a plus. But maybe that's part of the issue. But I think maybe threaded rod and making those corrections that I talked about earlier are going to help out. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.